What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Anime on Draft. My name is Mark. I'll be your host today. I am joined by these two laughable gentlemen, Drew and Alec.
Technical difficulties as always, but we got an excellent beverage this week, so I'm excited for it.
Yep. I hope everybody else is doing well. Our thoughts are with everybody. Please take care of yourselves again. Stay safe. And yeah, enjoy a nice cold beverage. We got some Strong Zeros this week. We're bringing it back.
All the way from
butter
Japan.
Lemon.
Butter lemon.
I know. Rolando could not join us tonight, but I'm sure he's going to be taking advantage of Strong Zero once he gets back.
Once he returns.
Yeah, very excited to get into this. Alec has never had one yet. This is like nostalgia in a can. This is good times.
I've never had one.
Good times in Japan.
Good times in Japan. Nostalgia in a can.
That's right. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get into this a little bit later. We are kind of doing things a little bit differently right now since lots of shows have been postponed or delayed due to coronavirus. So we're kind of doing a grab bag of rewatch right now. So we're featuring a little bit more in our Orashiri segment. So we're going to talk about a couple shows like Clannad, Shinsekai Yori, and Mawaru Penguin Drum. And of course, we're going to be talking about what other shows are still, airing. Arte, Tower of God, Kaguya, all that good stuff. So we'll be getting more into that later, along with some news. So yeah, let's sip on these. Jump into our Orashiri. First one I threw up on this list because I had kind of wanted to watch it since we had watched Sarazanmai, the Ikuhara show. This aired, I believe, in like 2010. Was it 2011? Excuse me.
12 maybe.
2011. This was July 8th to December 23.
11. You're right.
Yeah, July 8th. Almost the anniversary. A couple months
of the show.
Yeah. If we waited 2 months and 3 days, it's almost the anniversary. That's what I was saying.
I mean, if we're going at this pace, there's 24 episodes. Do we end it on the anniversary?
24 weeks. So no. We're doing one a week, right?
Sure.
So
we're doing one or two. Maybe we can match it up. I don't know.
Yeah. Or 3 or 5.
Or maybe like 3 or 4. I don't know. Yeah, this show is crazy. I had like no idea what to expect, other than it being an Ikuhara show. So kind of was expecting it to be pretty crazy. Definitely fits the style, and I can see now why you guys, every episode of Sarazanmai, you guys are just bringing up and be like, man, this is like typical Ikuhara. This is so reminiscent of other shows like Utena and Penguin Drum, because yeah, I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense. Like transformation scenes with awesome music, super quirky, weird partner characters or animals like the penguins. The cast is like super quirky and likable. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. Alec, what were your initial thoughts on the first episode?
Well, the intro was cool. It was pretty wild. My thoughts were kind of, I think it's gonna get weird, especially with like the naked sister. The penguins were dope, though. They were easily the best part of the episode. I loved when he was running around with the umbrella and he just kept going, eat, eat, eat. And that was it. Otherwise, it looks like it'll be cool. I like Sarazanmai. It gives me a similar vibe, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, if you're expecting it to get weird, it will get weird. That's for sure. You kind of get a little bit of a taste of it in the first episode. I mean, the transformation scene is like pretty over the top. But it talks about some like cool subjects that I'm looking forward to kind of talking about as we watch more of it. But it's kind of funny after seeing Sarazanmai and then like coming back and watching this. It's like there's so many similarities, right? You have the transformation scene, and then not only do you have that, but you have like kind of when they fought and like would like defeat the different like otter monsters or whatever, they would like grab in and like pull the thing out. And you kind of get that similar thing going on with the Himari and her brothers. I don't know, man. It's just it's a crazy cool similar concept, and I really like Sarazanmai. You guys really did too, so I think you'll really enjoy this show.
I'm excited.
It's exciting. Yeah,
the music is dope. Like you said, the music is so good.
The music is awesome. Yep, I had the transformation scene like music just stuck in my head after that, and then Rolando said he wanted to play it, and I was just like, "Wait, what is the name of that song? I need to hear this. I need to hear it again. It's so good."
Yeah.
I like you said, I'm like really interested in some of the subject matter that's going to touch upon, because like the very first scene is like them talking about fate, and like somebody says like I don't believe in fate, I don't want to be tied down, or something about the strings of fate. But then somebody again later on is like, we're kind of just subject to it. And yeah, I'm like really, really excited to see what kind of deep conversations we can get into with this show, because I mean, somebody was brought back from the dead. I mean, I have no idea what, kind of consequences that's going to play on in the future.
It's a little
especially
sus.
with the relation. Yeah, like especially the relationships with the brothers and the sisters. Yeah, this is gonna be a crazy show.
Ending scene.
Yep.
Where he's
that one definitely weirded me out a little bit.
Yeah. Whoa.
It's like, oh, so that's what it's like.
All right.
Is that what he said?
I don't know. He said something like, is it wrong if I go against my
Alec,
nature?
You're a robot.
I'm a robot.
Yeah, you're a little bit of a robot-y.
Correct yourself, sir.
Still a robot?
Correct your posture.
Still a robot.
Yep. Still
One sec. Sorry, chat. Sorry, stream and chat and recording and all that. We'll get it. We're back. Almost here,
that
guys.
Makes sense.
There we go. We're back. All right.
There we go. Okay. All right.
Repeat your question.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I will. So, I was like reading some some threads and some comments about this show, and it seems like it's very slightly like polarizing, and not a whole lot of people, were really into it, and it seems like it may not be for everyone. So kind of wanted to know what your thoughts on that were, Drew.
It is definitely polarizing, and just like Sarazanmai, where it's like, try to explain, like one of you like try to explain Sarazanmai to somebody who like doesn't really, or like who maybe watches anime, but it's like the main plot is like, well, there's these boys and like there's three of them, and like one of them is like has sexual fantasies about the other one, and then they all turn into like little demons and they pull things out of people's butts. It's like
pull desires out of people's butts.
Yeah, that
sounds awful. Yeah. But then you watch it and you're like, wow, great. This is actually like really good, and I don't know why. And Penguin Drum is similar. I think it is less extreme than Sarazanmai. I'm honestly surprised they let him make Sarazanmai the way he did.
Or where they're sucking things out of butts.
Because I thought when I watched Penguin Drum, like that kind of pushed the line and like maybe like crossed the line in terms of like being too out there. And you'll see what I mean as we kind of like keep watching it. It's like it pushes like some of those boundaries, and there's like characters that are like extremely interesting, I'll say. But I don't know. I don't know. I want to watch it again before I like commit to this, but I want to say I like this better than Sarazanmai, and I really like Sarazanmai.
Okay.
But I think after I watch it again, I'll be able to confidently make that statement.
That's
I haven't
a big
seen
statement.
this in a long time. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while. I don't remember everything. I remember like some really shocking parts, and like the overall like where the show goes, which is like pretty crazy. But I don't remember everything.
Okay. That is kind of shocking, because I mean, like Sarazanmai itself was a very surprising show that I feel like none of us on the show really were expecting to like that show as much as we did.
It was like one of my favorite shows
Entirely
like
not.
last year.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, how do you feel after watching like this first episode compared to like the first episode of Sarazanmai? Like, it's just so out there. I mean, are you expecting it to go in like a similar fashion? Are you expecting to like absolutely love the show as well?
I'm expecting
like, already weirded out.
Go in a weird direction because Sarazanmai was kind of weird, but I'm not like turned off by it. I'm like, it's kind of weird, but it's also kind of thought provoking, and it has, you know, cool substance to it. So where with Sarazanmai, I was kind of just like, what the fuck? And then it turned out really good. This is like, what the fuck? I like it. Let's get another Sarazanmai. So just having Drew say that he thinks he likes this better potentially makes me pretty excited because we all really love Sarazanmai. So I'm excited. Like weird, but excited.
It's such a weird feeling. It's like when you are still like a little bit unsure of like why I am so like I just really love Sarazanmai, and it just kind of baffles me, you know. Like it's got so many good things about it, and then now that like watching this show, it's like kind of have some sort of expectation for how weird things might get. But then again, it's like I had no idea where Sarazanmai was gonna go, so I kind of have no idea where this show's gonna go. But I'm excited. Like I'm excited for the ride.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a fun ride.
It's gonna be a wild ride, boys. Yeah,
Mr. Toad.
So that's the thing about this show. It's like I can see that, you know, it may be kind of polarizing, like, because if somebody is like not into like just having all this kind of like really kind of deep but super weirdly like really poignant subject matter, I feel like, you know, then people can get turned off pretty quickly.
You have to buy into the weirdness because it's gonna be weird. If you can deal with it and like look at it like more than just that, I think people will enjoy the show. But if you're just like, well, why did she put on that hat and why is she naked, and it's like that, like that's like artistic and like that honestly doesn't really matter. It's like cool, but it like doesn't really matter. It's like what they're talking about is actually what's important. It's just like his style, and that's you know, the anime that he makes. You look at Sailor Moon, you know, every week transformation sequences. You move into Utena, you know, walking up the stairs. You know, Sarazanmai and this are a little bit closer. I haven't seen his other show actually, the Kuma. It's like the bear one. But I think it'd be interesting in watching it. But it's like they're all very similar and they all like kind of build on each other. But it's all that like super artsy style that he's known for. So
I agree. You kind of just like from what I've seen, you kind of just have to not care or not be bothered by his style. And then it's
if you're like, oh, they're doing this again. This is bullshit. It's like you're obviously not gonna enjoy the show.
Like if you're watching Utena, why are they walking up the stairs again? Every episode, walking up damn stairs.
Yuma Kuma or Yuri Kuma Arashi. That's the one you're talking about, right? Okay.
That's the one I haven't seen. I'd be interested in watching it though.
Yuri Kuma Arashi.
Complete the all the.
I was gonna say the Trinity
shows.
Because he also did Kokoro Connect and Nodame Cantabile. Like those are both really good shows. I mean, wildly different than Sarazanmai and Penguin.
You give him creative direction. This is what happens.
This is what happens. I mean, seriously, like this is what you get, and it's cool. It's like. It's really like comforting to know that a production studio is willing to kind of just let him just go off the rails, and especially I'm sure after this one where he kind of went in that direction with Sarazanmai, and it's like I can't believe they got away with some of this stuff.
It's 2019. It was 2019, baby.
That's true.
That's true. This is true.
I don't think Kappa Boys gets made back in 2011.
Definitely
no,
not.
I don't think so.
They say we shelf this for 5 years.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe some of the subject material may not be as like extreme as like Sarazanmai may be, but I still like I know almost for a fact that it's still gonna get pretty wild, and it's gonna be really, really interesting.
I think what would be cool to do is try and put yourself in the time frame, like what was going on then, and then watch it from that lens, maybe.
one kind of important thing to know that I'll kind of like leave us with, and then we can like jump into the next subject is there's a lot of imagery in like trains, so like you know, the stops and the different things where they're jumping around the city and stuff. That is vastly important, so keep that in
mind. Okay.
Like those signs that they keep popping up, and the
just the trains in general.
Trains.
Just train imagery, if you will.
Okay. I think like pointing that out, I feel like I have my own sort of theory on that, just based off of like a manga I recently read. But I'll save that until we get maybe a couple more episodes. But that's a good thing to know. So
trains. Yeah. Keep it in mind, chat.
Trains, planes, and automobiles. So yeah, Penguin Drum, Mawaru Penguin Drum. We'll be watching another episode and talking about that again next week. Yeah, let's move into the next show that we had decided to rewatch, and that is Shinsekai Yori. I believe this is on High Dive as well. It's not available on Amazon anymore. I think they like just took it off. So if you have a High Dive account, yeah, definitely watch this. So we watched episode 1 of this, and this is also kind of a very interesting show. I had never seen this show. I'd heard that it's good. Drew, have you watched this show before?
I have not, and I'm surprised I haven't, because it seems like a show that I would like, especially after watching the first episode.
Yeah, and I have definitely heard the name, and I feel like I don't know why I haven't seen the show yet, because yeah, based off of the first episode, I was kind of instantly hooked. I mean, based off of like the first 2 minutes, like I had no idea what was happening. Right. That like huge juxtaposition between what happened in like the first minute with this guy just like murdering people, and then like and then it just
blowing
cuts to some kids in a field. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, what just happened here?
Can you see it? What? See what?
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
What happened? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but the show is interesting. Like, I'm getting like some really, really strong mystery vibes, like kinds of weird supernatural. I'm kind of very excited about this show as well. I don't know. I mean, Drew, first initial thoughts. How are you feeling so far?
It's kind of wild because it's like, you get that first, 2 minutes or whatever, and then you end up in the future or whatever, and it seems like it's almost like the Giver Society, and if anyone has read The Giver, or I guess kind of Hunger Games maybe, basically like a utopian society, and it seems like that people are getting killed for not having supernatural powers. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just like they're breeding the next generation to have psychic powers, and I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah, it seems like this whole society is sort of like I don't know if I'm getting like they're trying to rebuild society type of thing, but being very careful because maybe people are starting to inhibit these like psychological powers or mental powers or whatever, or if they are now like this like ostracized part of humanity. I don't quite know what is happening yet.
I have no idea what's going on. And then with the scene with the old dude where she did the fire, put it in the paper, and then they killed that. I just don't know what's going on. They took something away from her to give her something else back. So it's like, why did they do that? This show
and that was like it was such a weirdly emotional scene, but like it kind of didn't make sense because it was like they just stole this girl's power, but then just gave it back to her, and like she's like crying. And man, I was like very confused throughout most of this episode.
Right, it was weird. I was like, is this like some sort of religious thing? Are they taking her sin away
like
from
a
her?
cult or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw it in the fire. Cast away your humanly desires. Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it got real deep and real serious. Yeah. Same thing with like the kids and how if they don't, I guess, if they don't come of like a certain age and start being able to control their powers, like they are just like gotten rid of for some reason. They get killed
by cats. By these,
the cat.
Because she called them. What did she call them? The mom called them tainted cats. but they called them something. The kids were calling them shadow cats or
Copycat or something.
Copycat, yeah. And the mom was like, I think they said it was tainted cat. I don't know if that was what it said, actually, but it's interesting why it has the two names, depending on if you're an adult or a kid.
I think it was like sort of like this like a childish rumor that had been going around. They probably don't know what it's called, so it's like, oh, just call it this like the trickster cat. But I think the adults definitely like know what's up. Like they are for sure in on whatever this cat thing is. Yeah,
and then
like
the episode ends.
Seems pretty serious.
And Reiko is never seen again. Like, oh shit! Like, like what?
I like how that's how the episode ends. It's like, and they never saw her again.
And she never came back. Oh, what?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, but she had powers, so I don't even understand why that happened. It's like
she's not good at it though,
she's bad.
And I think that's like. Well, and that's like the mom like kind of implies like I can't lose another one of my kids to this because like, she was such a late bloomer, and like we don't necessarily know if she's like good or not, and so I think like school is part of like testing them to see like how good their powers are, and if you don't make the cut,
you're out.
Yeah, that was like rough. Like I wasn't expecting that. This is almost like bringing up some Darling in the Franxx vibes, but I don't know if anybody else felt that way as well.
Just like with all the kids.
Yeah, with like the kids, and if they're like not up to snuff. Yeah, they're being manipulated. They like have to provide, and they have to be able to meet standards.
You gotta drive the robot.
They gotta get in the robot and be able to drive it.
Yeah, or you're out. Yeah, a little bit now like that you mention it, actually.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm hoping this is gonna end up better, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope that it would end up a little better. I mean, so far it's pretty promising because I haven't watched a show that's hooked me from like the first 5-10 minutes like this one in a while. And it's just there's so many questions and so many like interesting things going on.
Yeah, you know what? Like I haven't watched a really good like supernatural mystery show like this in a while. And I tried to get like into like Boogie Pop, and something about the pacing in that show is just like wildly different than this. Yeah, and so I just couldn't get into that.
These are kind of different, but also kind of similar. In terms of like how I was hooked, it reminds me of Psycho-Pass, like how Psycho-Pass kind of like goes in there and hooks you with like this strange premise. This is kind of feeling the same way for me.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, where you kind of being introduced to
Can I taste the butter?
Mystery stuff like very, very slowly. Give her a taste.
He's not here.
Oh, I didn't know
He's sick. You made him sick.
Sorry.
He's sick.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, I think that this show is going to be an interesting one. Wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute.
She just leaves.
That just leaves.
You're banned. Get out.
Sorry.
No longer great. Welcome.
Yeah, that was amazing. Special guest.
Can't take her anywhere.
Yeah.
Definitely not to that Combini for
strong
zeros. So, Mark, what were you saying?
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Shinsekai Yori.
Psycho-Pass.
Oh, Psycho-Pass.
Yeah, Psycho-Pass and mystery. Yeah. I'm interested in the show. I think more for the like kind of semi-star 8 o'clock again, so people are also shouting outside. I think I'm like more interested in the show just because of like I'm kind of curious about what's going to happen to these kids. Because I think the way that first episode ended was just like slightly fucked up. So
it was really fucked up. Like not slightly.
I don't want to know more.
They're talking about these cats and losing her kids, and then it's just it goes through all this stuff about this one girl, and then it's like, and this girl was never seen again. Like, whoa!
And by the way,
like just out of left field, like no warning, just like, and she gone. Oh,
And she go.
I feel like this show's gonna get heavy if they're just ending episodes like this, just casually.
Yeah, episode 1, like to end like that. I mean, you gotta have an idea about since the very first like 2 minutes of the show with that dude who's just like steps out of the taxi,
blowing people up.
That was intense.
Yeah, that was wild.
This will be an interesting show. So I mean, so this one came out in 2013, and this is an A1 Pictures show. So I very excited about Prime A1 shows. So yeah, looking forward to this one. And like I said, next week we'll be getting into episode 2 for this, and it's going to be available on High Dive. So if you want to watch this show with us, join our Discord, and we can talk about it a little bit there, and then you will keep up to date with whenever we're watching new episodes. So yeah. Moving on to the last Orishiri show that we are watching, we have started a rewatch and a sort of a watch together community watch along thing. So you can join our Discord. We have been rewatching Clannad series, so the first season. We watched episode 1 and 2 last week. We are watching this show Thursdays around 7 p.m. So join our Discord that way you can see the links whenever they go live for the rewatch.
We're watching 2 each week.
We are watching 2 episodes of this a week. Yeah.
Minutes.
So I have seen this show a number of years ago. Drew, I believe you've seen this as well.
Yeah, a long ass time ago.
A long time ago. This was like the beginning of my binging time of like watching anime.
Everyone's got to have a binging.
Yeah. So I like kind of don't remember the show all that much. I like have like a general idea of like what happened. But I mean, Alec, initial thoughts. Tell us what you felt in the first 2 episodes. Take it away.
I mean, like that one girl kind of annoyed me. That's what I thought, like mostly. At the very end, it was just like, I don't want to be a burden to you, and then passes out. It's like, but you're literally being a burden right now. Otherwise, I think it just felt like the beginning of a show. I didn't really get any vibes as to, like, everyone always says it's sad or emotional, and I just felt like it could go somewhere, but otherwise, I don't know. We had a lot of commentary when we were watching it, so that's always fun. So I might go back and watch it by myself to try and pick up on some stuff, just like solo dolo. That's kind of all I got. I like the little dudes that they had at the end, though. The end song. It was
the
cute.
Dango?
Yeah, the
Dango, dude. Yeah.
What a good song.
What a great song, dude. It's a real banger.
Great song.
Nighttime.
I think, and Mark, tell me if you agree. I think the problem that Clannad has, at least at the start, is that it introduces way too many characters, and you're like, and it's set up like to be it's a visual novel, and it's converted into an anime, so it's like you're making a decision of like which kind of route you want to pursue, and to do that with that many girls in an anime is kind of difficult, and so it like presents you with all these options like right away, and you're just like, I didn't have any time to process any of that, and it's like kind of hard.
Yeah,
it felt
and it kind of presents it in a way where it's like, well, here's this character, and like nothing about them. Like you're just kind of
here's 2 minutes of screen time with them. Figure out if you like them or not. It's like
like you're just like assuming that I'm gonna already pick somebody and then like try to go into that direction, because it's like, sure, like if you like this character, then you want to follow that character, but if you don't like them in the show, well, guess what? You're stuck with seeing them again and again and again. You still got to see everything about them. Because I agree. Like, there's definitely some characters in the show that I'm like not a big fan of. Like the best friend, I find him kind of annoying. Like he's kind of funny, but it's also sort of annoying. But I mean, I was thinking the same thing. Like, there's just a lot of characters that are introduced in the first 2 episodes, and it's kind of hard to keep track of them all. But this show is it's definitely one that you kind of have to remember that it's a little bit slower on purpose, because it is a visual novel. Like, there's going to be a lot of information that you kind of just need to just sit through and try to take like whatever like big things are happening to the main character, because there's a lot of like mundane stuff that happens.
I'll wave at them. Oh, they're gone. Sorry. Like that sort of thing.
He's just a big troll.
I was just like,
really though. And it's also weird that like the main character is just like everywhere. Somehow he's like everywhere at all times. But I mean,
he's talking to someone in the lower courtyard, and then boom, he's in a classroom. Like, holy shit, are you sprinting places?
Yeah.
Like,
how did you get to the music room, but you were outside on the field? Like, what is happening? That's that athleticism.
That's why he doesn't want to join a club.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, this is an interesting show.
It gets better.
It does get better. Yeah.
I have
Thank you.
no expectations right now other than what people have told me. I'm kind of just like, I don't feel like this is what everyone talked about, so I'm just gonna ride it out.
Yeah, it gets better. You got to kind of sit in for this one. Just kind of just let it happen.
7 Pacific time on Thursdays. 2 more episodes.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah. I think I feel like I'm glad that we did it this way because it makes it a little bit easier. That way we can just like kind of watch 2 episodes. You know, we're all just sitting together, watch 2 episodes, and then like be done with it. I feel like this is a good format for this show.
Yeah.
So.
I agree.
Yep. Cool. Well, I think that does it for our Orashiri. Like I said, we will watch episodes 2 of Shinsekai Kayori and Moaru Penguin Drum next week, and then join us for the rewatch on Thursday of this week for Clannad. Cool.
Clannad.
So let's get into these drinks, I guess, a little bit. I'm not sure what else to say about Strong
have not
Zero.
tried it yet,
Alec,
I've been waiting.
wait, you haven't tried it yet?
For this section, I was waiting. So
I'll
here we
drink.
go.
Oh man. Oh.
So little background, I guess, on this drink, why we're drinking it. So Mark, Rolando, who's our other co-host, who's not here this week, and I went to Japan. It was last year, right? Last spring.
That was
or 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
2 years, man, long time ago. Anyway, we discovered the mythical Strong Zero, which is it's essentially a highball. So it's like whiskey and like seltzer water. If you've ever had a Four Loko in the States, it's essentially a Four Loko without the caffeine. But the good thing about it is in Japan they have no open bottle laws, so you can just grab one of these from the kombini. You know, it's like what, $1.50, $2 for a big can of it,
Super
and you can
cheap.
just walk around Japan drinking it. And there's a lot of memes about it that we have. This one, for whatever reason, we decided to call it butter lemon, even though it's lemon flavored. But we kept calling it butter lemon.
That's what I was saying, is that we called it butter lemon because one of the cans is like, it's got a green label and it says bitter lemon on it, but it's like written in cursive, and for some reason, like when I first read it, I just thought it said butter lemon because I can read. So therefore we just started calling it butter lemon after that.
Then it just kind of sticks with it.
Yeah, and then one day somebody actually looked at the can and was like, this says bitter lemon. And it probably was like maybe like 2 days later, like 2 separate occasions of drinking this.
But I'll tell you, and I think Mark, you can attest to this. There's nothing better than going to the kombini, grabbing one of these, slamming it down in the alley, and then going to the arcade and playing some rhythm games or getting into some shit in Japan. So
because I mean.
I don't know what you're gonna say, but it doesn't really taste that good. But it's just it's like the nostalgia factor, at least for me.
It's not amazing. Let's be real. It's not amazing, but it's not bad though. Like, no, it's not bad. But it doesn't have like, it's now I understand like the Truly and White Claw phase, because that's essentially what this is. I mean, it doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. It's kind of sugary, but it's 9% alcohol.
I mean, it's low cal too. I think
low cal for $2.
The zero part of Strong
54 cal. K cal.
For $2, I mean, I don't know where you're gonna find a better deal for a drink like that. Let's be real.
I don't know of anywhere here. That's for sure.
Also, lemon is probably the best flavor out of the ones that we had. Would you agree with me there? It's like they had I think bitter lemon,
bitter apple. I think
there's like there's like a mango. I want to say
bitter mango or just mango.
It's just mango, I think.
Just mango. They
Everything's
had
bitter.
like double lemon or like double lime or something?
Yeah, I think those were in like the smaller cans. I think there's like a no flavor. It's just like seltzer water.
Did somebody try that? I don't
Alcoholic
I don't
seltzer
remember.
water? That sounds awful.
That sounds so terrible.
Sounds
Just
so
no
bad.
flavor at all.
Ugh.
Got to do it for the calories, dude.
Yeah, man. Zero. Actual zero.
Yeah, but shout outs to Rolando again. He brought these to us from Japan. I don't think you can get them stateside, so sorry
I don't think
if you
so.
wanted to try one.
I know. I feel bad. Yeah,
Alec, give us your impression because
thank you.
Yeah.
you took your first sip ever.
I did. My first sip ever. I don't have the nostalgia of it that you guys do. I have a little bit of it because I remember I was chatting with you guys the entire time you were on the trip. And you're like, oh, we found this thing called butter lemon. And I'm like, butter lemon? What the hell? That sounds terrible. And then later you guys are like, oh, it's bitter lemon. I was like, well, that's way different than what you said originally. But it's not bad. The flavor isn't, like you said, it doesn't have strong flavor. It just kind of tastes like Sprite that you like shaved the side of a lemon into and made it a little bitter, and then it gets you drunk. So
it is 9% alcohol.
I didn't know that. I picked it up out of my fridge and I was like, this 9%, fuck. And I just well, all right, it's
cool.
a Tuesday.
Cinco de Drinko.
Cinco de Drinko.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's okay. Everyone will understand at work, I hope.
I'm glad you get to try it though.
Me too. I've been wanting to try it since you guys came back. I was gonna wait until I went to Japan to try it in Japan, but I think this is better. Enjoy it with the boyos, sans Rolando, rip unfortunately. But no, it's not bad. And you said it's $1.52.
It's like $2.
Yeah,
I'm down
and you
for
can
that.
the best part too, like usually on the show too, like we'll pour it out, look at the color. This is the best way to enjoy it. You need to enjoy it in the can, preferably in the streets, drinking.
It's like that's why you go to Vegas, like to be able to just walk around
Right.
and drink on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So something
good.
nice about like having it be like a hot afternoon and then you're just like strolling around drinking one of these, just exploring Japan. There's nothing that beats it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. I mean, it was like sakura season too, so
Get some cherry
Looking at
blossom
the cherry
action.
blossoms, sipping on.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, which was amazing, by the way, because it's like we went to what was it, Yoyogi Park, and it was like just people with mats
Everywhere,
like
yeah.
as far as you could see, and it like filled up the entire park. The lines to the bathroom were like 200 people deep, and like
like
every
Anime
single
Expo.
like group of people was just had like bottles and bottles of like just empty
Strong Zero.
wine, sake, and strong zero bottles just around them. Yeah, I mean it was awesome. It was like people are just walking around drinking and enjoying the scenery. Yeah, so yeah, man, and for the nostalgia alone, it's an amazing drink.
Very cool.
Agree.
I don't know. Alec, do you want to give a rating? I guess I don't. Are we gonna do that?
It's
I
5.
don't know.
5.
5. I'll give it a 4. I don't have the nostalgia quite yet. I'll give it a 4, purely based off of flavor and price. Can't beat it.
Fair enough.
Can't beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I get my own bottle of alcohol, like a big old one, and then my own seltzer water, I think cost-wise it would be cheaper. But that's not what we're talking about here.
I do remember Rolando said he found a recipe online and he made some, and it was pretty close. Like some there's like something about it that was like just slightly off. But
Proprietary.
I mean, if you find a recipe online, yeah, you can pretty much make this in your house. It's really not that.
I mean, it's
difficult.
like we said, it's a highball. You make a highball.
Which is just soda, water, and alcohol.
Yeah.
Jack and Coke,
I mean-
highball. Technically.
Yep. Grain alcohol, is that what you said earlier, Drew?
Yeah, grain alcohol and diet seltzer water.
Diet
'Cause you
seltzer.
gotta get the 0 calorie.
Ugh, gross. Tonic water.
Yum.
Ugh.
So good.
Yeah, real good.
All right. I mean,
I
I'm not
think
sure
that's
what
all
else to
there
say
is to
about
it.
Strong Zero. Yeah, if you're ever in
One more
Japan,
time.
please do us
Here's
a
the
favor,
can.
do yourself a favor, and pick up a Strong Zero. It's amazing. I know I've had friends who have gone to Japan, since the time that I went, and that was like one of the first things I told them. I was like, you gotta go to Konbini and pick up some Strong Zero. Like, send me a picture of it.
Just the Konbini game itself is like so strong over there, and then you just like add this on top of it. It's so...
Yeah, it's great. And you get a really cheap meal, a really cheap drink, and it's all like delicious. It's just amazing.
I miss Japan, man.
Me too.
Me too. Wait,
I miss it. I'm hoping we can go very soon. So, yeah.
Very soon.
All right. Yeah. All right, everyone. Well,
all right.
That's our Strong Zero Butter Lemon.
That's all I gotta say about that.
That's all I gotta say. Cool. Let's get into some news here.
Right.
We do have some good news. Anime News Network has compiled like a short list of series that have either been completed, either completed production or are near it for the current season. So that includes Arte, Ascendance of a Bookworm, Brand New Animal, Dropkick on My Devil, Dash, My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, Sing Yesterday for Me. So those shows have all been completed. Tower of God has completed the majority of the animation, but the production as a whole is very close, according to some of the sources in the production studio. Yasuhiro Kikuchi has also stated that a little more work remains for Kaguya Season 2. So not entirely sure what he means by that or what's left, but that is good news, though. Like, I'm really, really excited.
I was scared that Kaguya was going to go away, especially after this week's episode was so good.
Yeah, definitely. So, and then like I mentioned earlier, so production for Brand New Animal has already been completed. So Trigger's going to release episodes 7 through 12 tonight on Netflix in Japan. So I mean, if you were interested in that and you were into the first 6 episodes, then that will be available somewhere on the internet, most likely. So I haven't seen the up to 6, but I might just end up finishing it and see, kind of report back on that. So we'll see. But we will post the complete list of shows that have been delayed because there's so many. So we won't really go through them all. We talked about some of them last week.
I threw it in the Discord, or in the it's in the Discord, but also in the chat here. So
Twitch chat. Thank you. I mean, any of the shows that I didn't mention earlier in the previous list, just assume that they've been delayed. Not all of the shows or the production studios have said whether they're going to pick it up at the end or if they're going to postpone it, a couple months. I think everything's sort of up in the air right now with a lot of studios. I do know that some studios are trying to get through as much like artist work as they can, but it seems like a lot of like voiceover work and music work that's kind of like what's holding up a lot of studios. So yeah, that is what's going on with like COVID-19 news and animation studios. So moving on, Funimation is going to hold a virtual anime convention in July. Funimation announced that they will host a 2-day stream with cosplay meetups, industry panels, Q&A sessions, and more. You can go to Funimation's website and sign up for their email list if you want to be notified whenever they do announce some more news. Or you can follow them on Twitter too. So just follow the hashtag Funimation Convention, I think is what it's called, or Funimation Con. There we go. Yeah, next bit here. Yoko Kanno and the Seatbelts collaborated with artists and musicians around the world to recreate Real Folk Blues, which is the ending to Cowboy Bebop. Mason Lieberman, who organized the project and arranged the final track in order to help support to those who've been impacted by COVID-19. He said they're trying to use this as a valuable opportunity to give back to others and support everyone else who has been impacted by COVID-19. So the full track is available on Bandcamp and YouTube with a pay what you want donation scheme. All proceeds will go to the CDC Foundation and Doctors Without Borders. If you haven't seen this, it's really cool. Highly suggest checking it out. Alec, can we play a little bit of it just to kind of get a glimpse? And there are some special guests that are in the video. So I believe that is Spike and Jet's English voice actors. They make an appearance. So
let me put this on.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Did you guys get a chance to watch this?
I did.
No.
It's very neat.
I did not.
Thank you, Alec.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so head on over to YouTube, check out the rest of the video. It's like 10 minutes long, is that what it is?
It is 7 minutes and 16 seconds.
Minutes long. Yeah, it's really cool. Check that out. And help support Doctors Without Borders and the CDC Foundation if you are so willing to donate. I actually just bought the record of that today. I think there's still some left. It was like $25.
Ooh,
So
I might buy that.
figured why not. It looked pretty cool. Yeah. Last bit of news that we have here, a new TV anime series for The Wandering Witch, The Journey of Elena, has been announced, which is going to be titled Be Bewitched by Young Elena. Crunchyroll has included 5 key visual art as well as a link to a short teaser trailer for the show, and it will be animated by C2C Studios, but as of yet, there's been no strict release date for the show. Wanda posted this. This actually looks pretty decent. It looks interesting, at least. I don't know if this is like a Crunchyroll original, or if this is just a show that Crunchyroll is kind of supporting. So, yeah, and I'm not quite familiar with anything related to this series, so I don't know if this is like a sequel series or what. I don't know.
The art looks
do
cool.
you know about this, Drew? Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I think that does it for our news for this week.
Yeah, do we have a picture?
We'll move on. Yeah, it should be there in that article posted in the stream.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, let's move into our happy hour. First show that we wanted to talk about real quick is Sing Yesterday for Me. So we got introduced to Minato, who is like another side to our love polygon rectangle. What are we up to now? Like 5 different people.
Hexagon.
So many.
It's a hexagon.
So many people.
I was kind of expecting at some point like some sort of love interest for Haru, just because I kind of wanted to see how she would react to somebody who actually liked her back. So sort of expecting this to happen, and I actually really liked the way that they approached this. It seemed like they made like a good choice with like the type of character that Minato was. He was just kind of like, he was very straightforward and wasn't like ready to really beat around the bush, and it seemed like he kind of knew what he wanted in life, but he wanted to like leave without regrets anyways. So I thought the way that they did this episode was actually really good. And it's like, I feel like this kind of solidified that I really enjoy Haru as a character. I don't know, Drew, what did you feel about the relationship between Haru and Minato and how that's gonna affect it?
I don't know how I feel about it. I think the problem, like, and not to say that I don't like the show, because I do really like the show. I think the problem is like they're trying to make it too complicated. So they throw in this character this week, and you learn a lot about him, and then all of a sudden he's like leaving and gone forever. Why did I even need that?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I am with it. I don't know. It seems weird to like have this character, introduce him all of a sudden, and then, oh, by the way, he doesn't really have anything to do with anything. He just was there to create some tension and now leaves. So I don't know. I really like it. I think the episode was fine. Like, I didn't like not enjoy the episode. I just thought it was kind of a waste of time.
Okay. Alec, how did you feel about that?
This is the most recent one. I didn't watch it because it just aired like today, right? Or yesterday?
No.
Yesterday. I only saw up to 4.
Yesterday.
So I haven't seen it, so I have nothing to say about that. But I do like Haru's character. Okay. I'm from what you've said, I now, kind of have an idea of what happens in the next episode.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I didn't say anything. So, but I kind of like the idea. It's kind of expected that someone else would come along, just by the way the show is going. There's already been a rival for other girl and dude, so why wouldn't there be a rival for, arguably better girl? So, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on what I haven't seen yet.
That's fair. I mean, so Rolando posted, he sent us an image, and he wanted to kind of make some some comments about this image and the way that Minato phrases his confession to Haru. So he says in the show, and excuse me if I butcher this, Oreto skiate yo, as opposed to what you'd normally hear with Oreto skiate kudasai or kure. Yeah, so that's what's more like saying, quote, go out with me. So he's not really phrasing it in a way that he's asking her out. It's more like he's stating his feelings. So which is like related to the discussion before. Yeah, which is like related to a discussion that we had before about not liking, or sorry, the discussion that he had about not liking to take portraits because he thinks it imposes the cameraman's feelings onto the subject, hence his winning photo at the end. So Crunchyroll decided to translate it as "Would you go out with me?", which is honestly not capturing the whole meaning of his statement and isn't in his character even. I was surprised by it, or Rolando saying he's surprised by that since Crunchyroll likes to take liberties in localizing translations, so it confused me as to why they would translate it that way. That's fair. Like, that's an interesting comment too, because it definitely would have made sense too if he was like, if he said it in a way that said, you know, I like you, as opposed to would you go out with me? Because I kind of mean, I know that you can say them and it can sound the same in Japanese. Is that correct? True?
Well, there's like so many different ways of like saying like go out with me or like I like you. It's like, you know, like and even love in general. So it's like ski, which is also like, you know, the moon, but it's also like I like you. And then it's like aishiteru, I think, is like I like emotionally love you. And like, so there's and I'm probably butchering this. Rolondo's gonna listen to this. You like you just stop
no. That's why
you're an idiot.
That's why I want to ask you, because I don't want to butcher it either.
But the point is, there's like a ton of different ways of like professing love, and like, you know, there's like brotherly love versus like lustful love versus like love, like romantic love. Just like in like Latin, there's like different types of love, like agape and you know all the other different types of love. Yeah. So it's kind of the similar concept, and so it sounds like, and I'm not surprised, Crunchyroll kind of butchered the translation, and that's why we're lucky to have Rolando, who knows a little bit more about a lot of these different things, these different contexts, to kind of show us like what is like the director is trying to actually portray in the scene, which is significantly different than what was translated, which
what was written.
But
yeah, because you know, like now that Rolando has pointed that out to us, it does seem a little bit weird that the character Minato would have said it in that way. Just because it didn't seem like it was technically like in his character. I know we didn't know him for very long. We literally met him this episode. But like just from what we had seen with him, he didn't seem like he seemed like a very kind of aloof character as well, like kind of like Haru. Like he just kind of wanted to
hit it and quit it.
Present things. He wanted to present things in a way that was like very natural, and I feel like that kind of went against like him saying that he wants her to go out with him is against like what it seemed like his ideals were of like I like you, as opposed to saying like you just go out with me like straight up. So I don't know. I think that's a pretty interesting point. I'm still really liking the show. I have like my feelings for, you know, the Haru versus Shizuka battle are still very much like, you know, leaning more towards Haru.
Haru's gotta win, man.
Yeah, I'm hoping she wins this battle.
Haru sucks, or not Haru. The other one.
Shizuka's her name?
Yeah, she sucks. I didn't like Haru as much at the very start, just because, like, I didn't dislike her. I liked the other one better, but then once they kind of started fleshing out Shinako more, I'm not digging it. I don't find her to be an enjoyable character. Haru is just better. 100%.
Yeah, I agree. And then, like you said, Drew, I think that this episode just kind of wanted to introduce some tension between Haru and Uzumi.
And they had enough like characters to like do that, like make Haru or the brother,
the younger brother.
Yeah, make him like go after her or something. Like they could have done it in like a different way, and I think would have been better.
I thought they were gonna do that based off, because I watched the episode before it, and they had that interaction at the street where she was like, okay, he walked her home or whatever, and she was like, okay, bye, and he saw her with the crow and was like, a crow, what the fuck? And I was like, is there gonna be a thing now like between them somehow? But he's too much into like Shinako. But I thought that would have flowed better with how the show was going than having a new character. I mean, without having seen the episode, that's just how I felt at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that makes sense because I kind of had the same feeling too. I felt like there was going to be some sort of switching of feelings with Ro, the younger brother. But I do think that he is just like so stuck on Shinako that he may never change until he gets his poor little heart broken.
Or he'll stay the same like Shinako has. So, I mean.
Yikes. I don't quite know. I still like the show a lot.
Same.
It may not be like my favorite show this season, but I'm still enjoying it.
I like watching it.
It's enjoyable. I actually
cool.
enjoyed watching the last two. I didn't watch this one because I didn't know we were going to talk about
You
it.
fool!
My fool!
You fool!
I am fool! I don't know what I'm saying. 9%, guys. No dinner.
Well, you started drinking after we did.
I did, but it's good. I'm like halfway.
It creeps up on you too.
It does.
Like,
Sneaks up on you.
it's sneaky. And I've been drinking it slow.
It's like drinking soda. It's actually like drinking soda, and I'm sort of just sitting here like, oh, I'm drinking this a little too quickly.
Yeah.
So
I'm almost done with them.
I can much more appreciate why you guys enjoyed these so much in Japan, outside the arcade, wherever you had them. I can definitely appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Get one of these. Get some chicken tendies in there. maybe get some karage. Get some onigiri. They got it all at the kombini.
Whatever you want.
Lawson's. I had some like really good curry one night. I was like, this was like $4, like a whole plate of curry.
They'll heat it up for you if you want.
Yeah. I remember they asked me if I wanted to heat it up, and I just like looked at them. And I was like, "What?
What?
What did you say?
And they're like, "Oh."
Well, I was like, "Do you want it heated up or not?" I'm like, "Oh," I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, yes, yeah, thank you."
Yes, please.
Yeah.
My bad. They're looking at you like, is he okay?
Damn foreigner. Deal with this foreigner.
Yeah. All right. So that's it for seeing yesterday. Kaguya season 2. This is the beginning of the student council arc. Thoughts on Miko?
She's intense and kind of clueless at the same time.
Yeah. This is a fun arc. It's very, very interesting. I'm glad that like we're kind of back to like sort of the plot is moving the show as opposed to
the flow's a lot better.
Yeah, those short sketches. Yeah, I think this is like the direction that I feel like it takes the show into like better comedy style. Just because I feel like the short format itself isn't really lending to the show as a whole. So
I think the show does best when it's like kind of divided into two parts, like this episode was. You kind of get like this kind of goofy skit that's going on with Hayasaka, and like the shenanigans that she gets into, and then it like transitions into like a little bit more serious in terms of like what's actually progressing or like what's actually happening in the story. And I think that's where this show like shines. Because that first section with Hayasaka is like so good.
That was really good. Yeah.
Man, Rolando always joked that like Hayasaka would definitely be my favorite character, and she's like by far, at least to me, like my favorite character. She's like,
oh yeah.
She's like so like conniving, and then like does all this like crazy stuff, and just like her personality in general is like super good, and just like all the memes that get spawned out of her, it's just like so good.
Yeah, Hayasaka definitely best girl. And I'm glad that we can all agree on that because she is a lot of fun. Like she's an interesting character because like you kind of just don't know what to expect. Like, cause she could just pull out like a whole different persona. Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like a trained actor. But it's funny like that you get these like really small glimpses into like what she actually is into. And and I'm glad that they like kind of just threw those into it, where it's like she likes watching like elephants stampeding at night. It's like,
or like
that's actually true.
The hydraulic press.
Hydraulic press, yeah.
Those videos.
And she builds computers. And she like builds computers. That's like one of her hobbies.
Yeah.
It's like gonna get like this unique insight to like who Hayasaka is, and it's like kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, so I'm glad that the show is still moving in like a really good direction right now. Yeah, I'm not sure. And I wanted to have this conversation again with Rolando too. It's like now that this show is now into the student council, I'm still like kind of questioning about like where the show is gonna end.
Yeah, you guys keep talking about that, like where you think like it's gonna end up for this season.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh, because you've read it, right?
Yeah, but I don't still like the show. Yeah, moving on. I just wanted to talk a little bit about Namio Kitakura, or Wave Listen to Me. I think that this latest episode, and hopefully I don't spoil too much for you, Alec, but I think that this latest episode has. Oh, you did watch it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that this latest episode has kind of solidified why I really enjoy this show so much, and it's because it's like a comedy with stakes. So it's like it's got all these really random and like quirky characters, a really great VA, but the past few episodes they've been building up to the main character, getting involved with radio, and then she's going to start her own radio show. But now that this latest episode has presented it in a way where it's like, if she fails, like, it's no big deal to the station. It literally means nothing to everybody else besides her. Like, she is the one who is like banking on this to be a success, and it's like she has no experience whatsoever. Like, she may or may not have a job when she comes out of it. I think that like those stakes are like why I'm so invested in this character too, because it's like she's a likable character. She's really funny. She's super weird, but
super weird.
It's like, yeah, but it's like, dude, like I really want her to succeed. Like I feel like the stakes are
underdog story. It's like a sports anime.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's why Alex
like. Maybe that's it. It's like a sports anime, but with radio, and it's so weird.
No athletics whatsoever.
And I mean, this latest episode with like her just making stuff up, and it kind of just it makes more sense why the first episode opened up the way it did too. And then now that we get this random murder plot story.
Aliens.
I mean,
like, is this a trigger show?
Alien.
This show is so crazy, and like she saved somebody's life too, potentially.
Yeah, no, she did. Well, she saved one and maybe didn't save the other.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yes, that is true. That is true.
Like flip-flopping.
It's sort of flopped. I mean, man, I think that like this show is definitely like overtaking like best show of the season for me. Yeah,
I'm actually enjoying it more after this last episode. Before this, like I said, the first couple episodes, I was kind of on the fence about it, and then I was like, okay, I like it, I'll keep watching it. But this last one, I was surprised by how invested I could feel with this character. Even with her when she peaked on the acting manager and the new waitress or whatever, new chef in the alleyway, and she was kind of like feeling, like, oh well, it's not like I'm his boyfriend, and she was like, you could actually feel for her, and they did a really good job of like letting you kind of feel her emotions and understand the position that she felt herself in, and then get the call from the other guy, and you're like, oh, just take it, like you gotta take it, you're feeling like shit, you gotta do, and then she's like, fuck it, I'm going, and it's just like, this is so like, it's actually kind of realistic. If you were in that same position and someone came up like, hey, we're doing this now, you're like, fuck it, I'll do whatever now, like, let's go. So
I think it's the
really
thing, it's
relatable.
like Yeah, it's like you can kind of put yourself into her shoes. Like you feel for her so much because it's like you said, it's like an underdog story. It's like, dude, man, I feel so
like,
bad.
Right now, nothing is going for her. Like if you think everything just keeps fucking up in her life. She's working
Turtle
for the
shitting in her mouth.
the turtle. I taste something grassy. Fucking a scene later, gargling. Oh my god, I was dying. That was so funny.
It's great. It's got great comedy too, and then that's another thing. It's like the comedic timing in the show is just so perfect, man. It's really really well done, dude. Yeah, I'm really loving this show. I'm glad you're enjoying it too.
I'm really enjoying it. And then they make you uncomfortable too, which normally isn't a good thing, but it's like you get the whole spectrum. Like when she was sitting in the booth, compliment me, I was like, oh, this is so cringe. I feel so uncomfortable right now. But like that's, if I were that girl in the booth watching that happen, I'd be like, oh, this is so uncomfortable. So it's really good that they can kind of pass that along.
Yeah, I love that it has those awkward moments too. It's like where she brings another cake. Like I was hoping to surprise you with a cake, but somebody already beat me to it. Like it's like, oh, ouch. That's some cringy
so
stuff.
Tragic.
Damn. Yeah,
Oh,
so
man.
tragic. Yeah, I love this show, man. Like again, week to week, I'm like really excited for the next episode. So yeah. I don't know. Moving on into any other shows that we're watching that you guys are watching that you wanted to bring up. I just kind of put Gleeper in there. I haven't watched the latest one. I don't know if you guys have or not. Same thing with Tower.
No, I don't. I couldn't find it, so I was assuming that it got postponed. But maybe the next episode's out that I haven't seen.
Okay.
I'm continuing to watch Kakushigoto and Art, but not much to talk about for those.
Yeah, I did watch the latest
most
Art.
recent Art. I did not. No, I watched Namio instead. It was a choice, so I made my choice. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, Art. There's like not a whole lot to talk about there.
That's what I figured.
It's still
New
pleasant
character
watch.
introduced, interacts with character, episode ends.
Essentially, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else that you guys wanted to talk about? Any announcements as well?
No, I mean, I am still really enjoying Tower of God. I see that on here.
Okay.
I am really enjoying that still. I think this like fight arc thing was actually really cool, and then kind of seeing what's going on with him, like turning into Shiso. What does he turn into? Whatever. Shinsu. Yeah, was just like I don't know. It was badass, and I was like, oh, this is sick. So I'm really enjoying that show. I think that and the radio are probably actually like my two favorite shows right now.
Cool. Yeah, that's probably what I would say too. Yeah, I think and I wanted to get into this too with Tower of God because Rolando made a comment about the main characters not being likable, and it's really interesting. And I know that we'll get more into that with probably next week's episode. I think possibly the one after that too, because they're a little bit insufferable, mainly like because like
the three,
like Bam. So like Bam and Rachel.
Oh,
so those two, and just because like Bam is like so fixed on Rachel and will literally like he's willing to give everything up, just to be with her. He has no
will of his own.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it's kind of tough to watch, just because that's like you want this person who seems like a genuinely like good person and like a nice guy to have their own life. But he's like so obsessed and so fixated on Rachel that it's tough to watch, because you kind of are like starting to get this feeling that she doesn't exactly want that.
I think it's human nature to genuinely want the best for other people who seem like good people.
Yeah. Yes,
when they're assholes, you're like, well, you can fuck off.
Well, you can go worry about yourself too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like Tower of God it's a good series. Yeah, and I'm glad that they wrapped up and we got to see Andrasi, who is to me best girl. So you got to see her shine a little bit in this episode. Was it just me too? But like the animation style seems to be like fluctuating in that show again. It's like it's sort of okay in some parts, and then it gets okay, it's like really good, and then it just like kind of drops again.
Yeah, it has moments where it's like, oh, that was much better than before, and then it goes back to kind of the average, and then they'll do like a big zoom out, and I'm like, what are these, like stick figures? Holy shit!
Yeah.
And then it'll zoom back in on someone. I'm like, okay, all right, saved.
All right, we're back.
Yeah,
we back.
it's inconsistent. I think the same thing about Namio too. There were some moments in this most recent episode I was like, oh, that's really not good. Not good.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't think that Namio has a huge budget for the show either. So
probably not. Just like the radio show in the show.
There you go. 0 budget, no sponsors.
Low budget.
Low budget.
Yeah. It's like I had to convince the sponsors.
Yeah, he's got him in a chokehold. That was really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll see with Tower of God. Hopefully, like they said, that the production is still it's very close to being finished. So I'm hoping that they're able to kind of wrap things up and then get the full completed series out there for us to watch, because I want to see more of this show. I think it starts heating up sort of like towards the end of this series, or towards the end of where the season is going to end. And then, I mean, the webtoon is amazing. So, yeah.
Cool.
I'll have to read it. Honestly.
Yeah. There's a lot of it that's out, but it's a pretty easy read because it's webtoon format, so you can kind of just scroll through things pretty quickly.
Right on.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know anything else, guys. Anything else that you wanted to mention, Drew? Any other shows?
No, I think that's it for me.
Cool. All right then. Well, I guess that will do it for us this week. Thank you guys for joining us. We are streaming on Twitch still. We are trying to stick to our Monday schedule. I think next week we'll be back on Mondays, so that'll be like 7 p.m. On twitch.tv/AnimeOnDraft. And if you are joining us right now on Twitch, thank you so much for sticking around with us. Thanks for watching the stream. You can find all of our past and previous episodes anywhere where podcast services are available. So iTunes, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, anything, you name it, we're on there.
Stitcher.
So just search Anime on Draft. I'm sorry?
I'm just naming stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, you name it, just search Anime on Draft, and you can find whatever podcast service that you have a preference for, and we'll be up there. Join us on Twitter. Just search @Anime on Draft. That way you can be alerted whenever we do go live. You can chat with me, send me some memes, or just send us some stuff, whatever you want to talk about. We are on there, as well as on our Instagram. We have pictures of the beers that we are drinking throughout the week, whatever else we may be drinking, and that is Anime on Draft Podcast. So follow us there. We greatly appreciate it. And if you are so willing to, please leave a review on, I believe it's Apple Podcasts. That way we get our name out there, and it helps spread the word about what kind of job we're doing and what you guys are liking about the show. And that way we also get some feedback. So if you are also feeling so inclined to give us feedback, or if you want to contact us for any reason, if you have any sort of discussion topics that you want us to talk about, maybe some shows that you are interested in discussing with us, or if you have some conversation pieces or suggestions for us, you can reach us at contact@animeondraft.com, or you can go to our website, which is animeondraft.com, and just hit us up on our contact page and let us know what we're doing or whatever you want to talk to us about. So yeah, I think that about does it for us this week. I think I hit on everything there. Also join our Discord. I think the link is there on our Twitch page. Join our Discord. We are talking about random stuff throughout the week, posting pictures, talking about music, talking about video games, everything. That's it.
Strong zero.
Strong zero.
Strong zero.
I hit the
Love it.
button.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.